Now we are going to see when the property in the goods is transferred to the buyer under the Sale of Goods Act. That is, ownership of the goods is transferred irrespective of delivery or possession. When it is transferred is to be seen in some occasions. For example, if there is a risk if the goods are damaged, who has to bear? If the party has not paid, whether the seller can claim price or damages. The risk in the goods is passed along with the property in the goods. Along with the ownership, the risk is also passed. If something happens to the goods, some damage, then if the property in the goods is transferred, only the buyer has to bear the loss. There is a fire accident in the seller's godown where the buyer has left the goods. Then if anything happens, only the buyer has to bear the loss because the ownership is already transferred. Same way, if the possession is with the seller but the buyer has not paid, means he can claim only price if the property in the goods is transferred to the buyer. Once the property in the goods is transferred to the buyer, seller has a remedy of claiming only price, not damages. Another incident is in case the buyer becomes insolvent after getting the property in the goods, then the goods are his property and that official liquidators will go like that. They will realize the goods and pay the seller. Now we will see what the Act says. Section 18 says property does not pass till when the goods are not ascertained. Only when the goods are ascertained, when the goods are specific, then only the property in the goods will be transferred. Section 19 says unless otherwise the parties decide when to transfer, then the section 22-24 will apply. The first choice is the parties. They can decide when the property to be transferred. In case they are not deciding, then the law will come into picture. Law says it will be decided according to the section 20-24. First choice for the intention of the party. If they are not deciding, then the act will come. Section 20 deals with the goods in a deliverable stage. If the parties are not deciding and if the goods is in a deliverable stage, in that case the property is transferred immediately on making the agreement. For example, it is an imported timber log at the yard. These people go there, see there and then finalize a contract. When the contract is made, the ownership is transferred. The property in the goods is transferred. If the goods are in deliverable stage, property is transferred when the contract is made. This is section 20. Section 21 says regarding goods which are not in deliverable stage. Goods are there, but it is not in deliverable stage. For example, a person goes to a rice merchant, to a rice mill where rice is there, but it is not packed. This person wants 100 bags of rice. It is to be delivered in a deliverable. The rice is not in a deliverable stage. Only when it is put in rice bags, then it is in deliverable stage. For that he has to fill up the rice bags. This is section 21, not in deliverable stage. In that case, the law says once the goods are in deliverable stage and the buyer is notified, then the ownership passes. That is, he has to fill the rice in 100 bags. He has to intimate the buyer, your rice is ready, it is filled in 100 bags, you come and collect it. At that time the ownership passes. When something to be done, then it is transferred. Next is section 22, measure or weigh. Something to be done for delivery, measuring or weighing. In that case, it will be done by the person and the buyer is intimated. At that time it is transferred. For example, a person goes to the iron merchant purchasing the iron rods for his use. It has to be measured or it has to be weighed. In that case, once it is done, once the buyer is intimated that measuring part is over, or we have weighed your goods, it is ready for delivery. At that time, the ownership, the property in the goods is transferred. Then section 23 deals with the uncertain goods or future goods. Goods are not there, it is uncertain, but when it will go. For example, the person goes to a mango garden, he wants 100 kilos of mango. Mango is not there, it will take another 1 month. So, property is not transferred because uncertain. What the seller can do after picking up all this, he can pack it and say that your goods are ascertained, and he has to intimate that goods are ready. Ascertaining the goods with the intimation to the person with the assent of the buyer. Or buyer can ascertain it and then intimate the seller. If the person may have so much mangoes, the buyer can come and pick some mangoes and pack it. Sir, this is my mango, I am going to take. Buyer ascertaining by the buyer with the intimation to the seller, or seller with the intimation to the buyer. Once it is ascertained, the unascertained future goods, once it is ascertained with the intimation to the other person, with the assent of the other person, then it is ownership is transferred. Section 23, subsection 2 deals with the transport of goods. If the person hands over things to the other person and booking the goods in the name of the buyer, then the ownership is transferred the moment it is loaded in the lorry or train. Because it is stated the lorry is treated as an agent of the buyer. If it is loaded in the lorry, LR is a lorry receipt is made in the name of buyer. That means the buyer will take care of the goods. From the moment the goods are loaded in the lorry, the ownership is transferred. The seller has no right to recall because it is booked in the name of buyer. On the contrary, if he has booking everything in his own name to self, if he is booking like that, he has a right to recall. In that case, the ownership is not transferred. It is transferred only when it is delivered. When the document of title goods is transferred to the other person, then only it is transferred. If it is booked in the name of buyer, the transport company is treated as a buyer's agent and the ownership is transferred once it is given to the person, once it is given to the lorry office. Otherwise, if it is booked in the name of the seller, then he has a right to recall goods. In that case, it will be delivered when the title to goods is transferred. Then next is section 24 deals with the sale of goods on approval or rejection. This person is sending goods, he has to approve or rejection when the property is transferred. The property is transferred when the approval is given, one, or if there is a fixed time, he has not given approval, he has not rejected it, then after the expiry of that fixed time. Same way, no fixed time is given, it was sent on approval, he has not given approval, he has not rejected, then after a reasonable time, this property in the goods is transferred. We will see something in the next topic.